Hey, and welcome to Bit Talk. This is Paul Avendano, but you may know me in the video game world as PPP, Pizall, and currently on the PlayStation Network, I'm Hirateuchi, and welcome to Bit Talk. Today, we're going to be talking about the game Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2 was developed by Capcom and was released into the arcades in 1991. Ever wonder why it was called Street Fighter 2? I know I did. And not having the internet at my fingertips made it really hard in finding things out. You either know somebody that knew about it, or you just flat out didn't know about it. I always wondered why they called it Street Fighter 2. I figured it was one of those things that they did just to make you wonder what the original Street Fighter was all about. The original Street Fighter was released in the arcade as well. Most of you probably haven't heard about it, well, at least back then. And as you may know, it wasn't as successful as its sequel. But one thing it did do was that it came out with 6-button controls, and it also used special commands for techniques. The original Street Fighter at the arcade had this button pressure, and what you would do is if you wanted to make a stronger attack, you would press the button that much harder. Those of you that have played games at the arcade know that these things get trashed pretty quickly. So that's why they came out with the 6-button control. And if you like playing the TurboGrafx fanboy maybe? Yeah. This game was ported over to the TurboGrafx CD in North America. And, well, it wasn't called Street Fighter, it was called Fighting Street. My mom used to always say that you haven't made it until you made it in the United States. Capcom must have had the same idea because Final Fight was commercially successful in the United States. So Capcom decided to put all their efforts into cashing in on this success. Capcom felt like they had a good concept and that they could make it a better arcade game. Capcom had 40 people working on Street Fighter 2. Noritaka Funemizu was the producer. Akira Nishitani and Akira Yasuda were in charge of gameplay and character design. Funemizu said that the developers reaped the benefits of the CP1's hardware. This hardware allowed developers to give the characters its animation patterns and the ability for certain characters to use different amounts of RAM. If you're like me, you thought that the originator of combos in video games was Killer Instinct. And if you're like me, you're wrong. Street Fighter 2 quietly had a combo system. And it was discovered by mistake. Noritaka Funemizu said that he was making a bug check, and during this bug check, he noticed something. Funemizu recorded it and noticed that he could have added a few more hits. Funemizu thought that getting the timing correct on this would have been too hard. So he decided to leave it in as a hidden feature. What's funny is that this very thing was later perfected and put into future titles. Its reception in the arcade was huge. This game went on to make $10.61 billion. This makes it one of the top 3 highest grossing games ever. Space Invaders and Pac-Man are the two in front of Street Fighter 2. In the arcade, the World Warrior Edition sold 60,000 cabinets, which made $680 million, or 1.26 billion in today's dollars. The cabinets cost 160,000 yen, or $1,300. The Champion Edition sold 140,000 cabinets in Japan, which made it 1.625 billion, or 2.9 billion with inflation. Electronic Games said that not since the 1980s has an arcade game received so much attention and all-out fanatical popularity. In 1995, GameFan published in their March issue, and they said that this game made billions in profit. It made 2.312 billion, which that meant that there were 9.25 billion quarters going into their machines, which that would be the equivalent of 4.25 billion in today's dollars. The original home version on the Super Nintendo sold more than 6.3 billion units, and it remains as one of Capcom's best-selling games on a single platform. 1 million of those sales came in June of 1992, in 2 weeks, in Japan. It sold for 10,290 yen, $102 if you adjust that with a currency exchange and inflation. Another 750,000 units were sold in the United States between July 15th and September 30th of 1992. And it had a retail price of, sit down on this one, hope you're sitting down, $74.99, which in today's dollars would be $134. This game was Capcom's best-selling game. It sold 14 million copies between the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis, or if you're on that part of the world, you know it as the Mega Drive. This stood until 2013, when Resident Evil 5 surpassed it. Leon! Street Fighter II had different versions of the game, and these are the World Warrior, Special Champion Edition, Turbo, New Challengers, HD Remix, and Ultra! And they've all sold for a combined 14.75 million copies. Ratings. Computer and video games rated it a 93% overall. Superplay rated it a 94%. GamePro rated it a couple times. And the first time they rated it a perfect 5 out of 5. And then the second time they rated it a perfect 5 out of 5. Electronic Games gave it an overall rating of 94%. And Nintendo Power gave it a 4.075 out of 5. Okay, this is the part where we have a commercial in the middle of the video because, well, you know, I have to eat, I have to drink, and you know, this is embarrassing. So just hurry up and just show the commercial. All right.
こんにちは。Do you have a problem like this? We all do and it can be as tricky as making an orangutan origami. Hey you gaijin, I'll tell you a secret past down by many 日本人. It's called okasan no kao, hirateuchi. We will teach you the ways of okasan and hondaman. Hahaha pup. We will take you from looking like this nerd. And have you ready to activate Core mode and get it on the first try. Join the dojo of hondaman. And forget the days of having too many slap the sink and hand dryer. You will slap like only a Honda can slap. They will be asking why can they slap? Why can they slap? Yosh, I can. Bonsai, ay. Hahaha pup.
Alright, now the moment you've all been waiting for. Here's Street Fighter II. The Turbo Edition. Now some of you may be wondering why I chose the Turbo Edition. And growing up, I did have the original version, but one of my favorites was the Turbo Edition. What I liked about it was that, let's hit start here, is that you have your different speeds. And well, you know, we're going to go into Hypo Turbo 4. They also have the normal version, which, why play that? Here's Balrog, or as some of you may know him as, some of you may know him as Balrog, but in the United States, he's known as Vega. Yeah. Anyway, so here we are. We have the options, which, you know, you can listen to, and you can listen to all the tracks, and you can make noises. Perfect. So anyway, let's get this show on the road. If you wanted to play friends and keep score, you could do versus battle, but I don't have any friends, so we're gonna do game start. Alright, one other thing I liked about this version was that, you know, you get your original, you get your OGs, and then the later on became OGs. These guys here, they ended up adding the 4 bosses, well, I guess the 3 mini bosses and then the boss. Not Not the two that you're probably thinking of, not Slim Thug or Sasha Banks. But I always picked Ryu, so let's do this. Honda. Which fighting style is more supreme? Mr. Ryu or a sumo wrestler? Uh-oh, 1,000 hand slaps. When I was little, I was so good at this game that I would play a game within the game. That's when you know that the game is too easy. And I used to do this thing where I couldn't go out of the sumo ring. If I got out of the ring, then I'd lose. And where I'm standing was the edge of what I wanted, if I took one more step, then I would have considered myself out and I would lose on purpose. But, this game, as I said earlier, was a success. Ooh, I saw that one coming. Was a success in the arcades. And one thing that I would say they perfected and what kept it at Street Fighter 2 for so long. Oh, he got me. Was that they were able to, what we would do now as a DLC, they were able to actually not do a DLC, but come out with a whole new game because we didn't have the ability of doing that. So they were able to rinse and repeat a lot easier. Oh, he's dizzy. Oh, nice. And I got him. Slow, slow, slow. Oh, man. Ooh, I got him with the punch. But, yeah, as a kid, I'd go to the well, for starters, let's do some backstory here. So, as a kid, my mom used to always like going to the mall. And I don't know what guy that went. Well, I wasn't a guy, I was a little boy. But what little boy enjoyed going to the mall, aka sit either in a stroller or walking around every single store, super bored because you don't want. They're looking. It'd be my mom and my aunt, and who would want to look at clothes? And they try this on, they try that on, and then do they buy some of it? Maybe. Sometimes they don't buy anything. And so that got really boring. So I would be, rushing them the whole time. Come on, can we go? Can we go? Can we go? And finally, hey, the arcade. My mom knew that I like to play video games. So she would say, okay, if you're good, we can go to the arcade afterwards. Like, oh, okay, cool. So I'd be good. And this worked for a little bit. But then I started getting impatient. And I would want to hurry up and just go to the arcade. Hey, don't munch on me. I'd want to go to the arcade. So then, oh man. I'm dead. Oh, epic comeback maybe? Ooh, epic comeback. I think my friend Eric would say epic. Anyway, so yeah, I would rush my mom into wanting to go to the arcade. And finally, she got fed up with it. So she told me, okay, this is what we'll do. I'll give you $1 and you can go to the arcade, but you cannot leave with anybody. The theme, this story is going to go perfect with this theme. Or my story is going to go perfect with this theme. Learn to talk. And so my mom told me, yeah, you cannot go home with anybody, no matter what they tell you. They may tell you that oh, your mom is in the hospital and she told me to come get you so we can go to the hospital. My mom told me if it wasn't me, if it wasn't your aunt, if it wasn't your dad, you do not leave. You will stay here. Another kind of ADD moment in the story is game within the game. I used to stay on the symbol here in the middle, and I couldn't get off of it, so that's how I got good at doing Hadoukens, and man. So yeah, I that's where I learned my tricks and how to make $1 last the whole time your mom's at the mall. So nice little tidbit there. This was actually one of the games that I used to like playing, but then arcades started getting smarter, and they started doing this thing to where, hey, they're willing to play this game. How about we charge $2? And then it became to where some of you, if you went to the arcade, then learned that, well, some of the more premium games ended up becoming $1, $1.25, and really that's probably why arcades ended up going out, because it just ended up costing too much. You know, you find out that they spend, you know, $3,000, $5,000 on a cabinet, so they're gonna want to get their money back and make it a profit. So I guess that's why games ended up costing so much. But really, the character I play the most with is who I'm playing with right now, is with Ryu. Really, as a kid, I was able to play with... Ooh, nice theme. I was able to play with... I always struggled against Ken. But yeah, I got to the point where I got good with everybody. God, jeez. Oh! And I hate how... I was trying to do the... whatever. I was trying to get him with the uppercut, and I got him with a low punch. Yeah, there we go. So one of my friends growing up wasn't... Ooh, got him with a barrel. ECW. Got him with one of the barrels. One of my friends growing up, his mom wouldn't let him play this game because he oh no. Oh, that's funny. His mom thought that when he said Hadouken, he would say ha bull, and then I'll let you finish that second part of that. Ha. So instead of Hadouken, it's ha BS, which we all thought was pretty funny, because you know, we're all telling him, you know, he's not saying that at all. And then one of my friend's little sisters, it was pretty funny. Whenever, yeah, here we go. I wish they found it. Oh man, he got me. Uh-oh. Ah, and then the barrel. Oh, I didn't get it on the balance. But yeah, there's really a lot of good memories of this game. Because I had the original version on the Super Nintendo, then some of you may know, you get a good game, then all of a sudden everybody's your friend. So I had a bunch of people coming over that wanted to play the game. Time to play the game. Let's do Chun-Li. But honestly, this game, it's a really good game. It's a classic. I mean, they knew what they were doing when they came out with this game. They did a lot of research. Oh man, did a lot of research, and uh-oh. Oh, get on the ground, Ken. Oh man, he got me. I just wanted to... Oh yeah, I forget Chun-Li can bounce off the... Oh man! What was I saying? But yeah, this game, is really good. I strongly recommend playing it. If you're a game collector, I would want to have it in my possession. Granted... Oh man, he got me. Ooh, got him with the projectile. Which... Oh, look at them kicks, bruh! Look at them kicks! Got him. Oh, he got me. That was a bad thing about that kick. But yeah, this game it's a really good game. I really recommend it. I really don't even want to stop playing this game. This game's a lot of fun. And yeah, I recommend getting it. It's a good game. It's when you play it, you know, you're gonna see why this game was so good and as profitable as it was. Oh no! So another tidbit. So you may be wondering where the PPP came from. So, Yeah, so I went to the arcade, and you see how I'm going through all these letters. Sometimes the arcade, you only had a certain amount of time to put all the stuff in. So, you know, some arcades, they would get trashed. And, ooh, look at that. PPP reigns supreme. But, yeah, so it would be really hard to get to it. And so it would be really hard to get to it for some that got trashed, so you would go all the way and it'd be a chore to get to P. And then when you get P, then you have to go all the way and work your way all the way back to A. And oh man, that sometimes you run out of time and then, you know, you don't get to put your name in the high score. So there was one time that, you know, I'd labored through it, did it, and then one day I go to an arcade that I never went to, and I go to see the high score, and what? There's a PA. I thought I was the only PA. So then somehow it just hit me, and you know what? Just do PPP. Who's going to do PPP? No one's going to do PPP. So that's how I ended up being known as PPP. Nice little tidbit there for you. In case you were wondering, it's not PPP Pizall, it's PPP, then Pizall. Maybe one day I'll let you guys know where Pizall came from. But I hope you enjoyed this. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Give it a like if you liked it. And like always, if there's a game you would like for me to review, then go ahead and let me know in the comments section, and I'll get to it in the order that I get the requests. But anyway, this is Paul Avendano with BitTalk, and thank you, and have a good one. Pizall! Only die, baby, for life.